From the Bloomington Ice Center in the Joe Olson Ice Rink, it's time for Illinois State Redbird Hockey as the Illinois State Redbirds get set to take on the McKendree Bearcats. And a very pleasant good evening from inside the Bloomington Ice Center on the Joe Olson Ice Rink. L.A. Decker back with you, getting set for the final game at home for the Division I Redbirds in the 2025 portion of their schedule. Tonight, a familiar foe. They will take on the Bearcats of McKendree University, a team they saw last back on October the 4th in a game that the Redbirds won decisively 10-2. Since that time, however, the teams have taken different paths to the same destination. Both teams are 3-7 in their last 10 games. The Redbirds have dropped 6 in a row. Taking a look at the starting lineups and the goaltender matchup for the goaltenders, it will be Dylan Dallaire getting the start for the Bearcats. 2-4-0 on the season with a 3.26 goals against and a 9.26 save percentage. For the Redbirds of Illinois State, Dylan Posh gets the start. He's 1-1-0 on the season, a 4.50 goals against average, 8.93 save percentage. The Redbirds are led by a quartet of scorers, 3 on the front line, 1 on the defense. The lone defenseman in the top scoring column, Sam Truxaw, the captain, with 6 goals. Robin Cusick, Jacob Switek, and Gio Barghini, each also with 6 to tie for team high honors. For the Bearcats of McKendree, they are led by Jacob Begish with 11 goals on the season. Next in line is Tanner Bettis, who has 6. He is in tonight's lineup for the Bearcats of McKendree University. McKendree coming in with a 6-13, 1-1 record, good for 16 points in the MCH. The Illinois State Redbirds, independent in Division I of the ACHA, are 6-9, 1-2, good for 17 points on the season thus far. These two teams will meet again tomorrow. It'll be a home-and-home series as the Redbirds will travel to Lebanon, Illinois, to take on these very same McKendree Bearcats. So it's Friday night, it's hockey night in Bloomington Normal, and the Redbirds are getting set to take on the Bearcats of McKendree University. We'll have the starting lineups in the opening face-off coming up here in just a couple of moments as we get set for Illinois State Redbird Hockey. Good evening, hockey fans, and welcome to the Bloomington Ice Center in the Joe Olson Ice Rink and tonight's ACHA Division I matchup between the visiting McKendree Bearcats and your Illinois State Redbirds. Let's meet tonight's starting lineups first. For the visitors from Lebanon, Illinois, please welcome the McKendree Bearcats. Starting on defense, number 16, Cade Rosansky. At number 25, Ben Anderson. The forwards, number 3, Jonathan Davenport. Number 14, Sawyer Lounsdale. And number 22, Jacob Begish. Starting in goal for the Bearcats is number 31, Dylan Dallaire. And now let's meet the starting lineup for your Illinois State Redbirds. On defense, number 2, Ben Lechner. And number 39, the captain, Sam Truxaw. The forwards, number 8, Luka Weinkauf. Also the captain, number 11, Connor O'Neill. And number 20, Giovanni Barghini. And starting in the net for your Redbirds is number 88, Dylan Posh. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise. If you are able, gentlemen, remove your hats as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Your officials for tonight's contest, the linesmen Max Peters and Chris Harjay, the referees Cameron Huey and Cullen Craig, and your official scorer is Mr. Dan Glatt. So again, our starting lineups for tonight's contest for the Bearcats of McKendree University, 16 points on the year thus far, 6-13, 1-1. It will be Cade Rosansky and Ben Anderson on defense, Jonathan Davenport, Sawyer Lounsdale, and Jacob Begish on the front line, with Dylan Dallaire getting the start between the pipes. For the Redbirds of Illinois State, 6'9", 1-2 on the season, good for 17 points. Ben Lechner and Sam Truxaw are on defense. Luca Weinkoff, Connor O'Neill, and Gio Barghini on the front line. Dylan Posh gets the start in goal for Illinois State. Redbirds wearing camouflage white uniforms with gray camouflage, red numerals on the white-black shorts. And McKendree in all black, trimmed in white and purple with purple numerals on the black jerseys. And the opening faceoff is controlled by the Bearcats, and they start up ice as it's dumped in by Rosansky. Sent across as Illinois State gets to it first. Big hit as down goes O'Neill. He gets heavy contact that time as Jacob Begish took the body that time, and now a penalty coming up against the Bearcats. Or is it a penalty? Apparently not. I stand corrected. Now O'Neill having some equipment issues, so he'll come to the bench. And the Redbirds are going to get a change. So Davenport will take the face-off. And the face-off won by Pavel Bakhtin for the Redbirds. As they start out of their own zone, here's Truxaw dumping it in from center, back behind the net. It goes behind Dallaire into the right corner. Bakhtin gets to it. Rosansky, behind his own net, gets possession for the Bearcats. He sends it up ice. It bounces over the stick of Truxaw. No icing coming up as we play on in the first minute here in period number 1. Truxaw taken down behind the play. Redbirds do get to the puck and work it up into the neutral zone. Callahan had it knocked away and sent back into the Redbird end. Redbirds starting back up as moving in is Dominic Dager. Drops it off for Switek. Jacob Switek with a shot. Save made by Dallaire. And he'll cover up the rebound with 18:49 to play here in the opening period. And the next faceoff will be in the Bearcat zone, and it'll be to the left of Dylan Dallaire. Faceoff won by the Redbirds. Switek drops it off for Schaefer along the board's right side, stolen away by the Bearcats. Lead pass ahead is going to be too far in front as Reichel Davis was trying to break in, but he could not catch up to the puck, so an icing call made against the Bearcats will bring the faceoff all the way back into their own end. Faceoff again to the left of Dylan Dallaire. Faceoff pulled back. Redbirds get to it as Schaefer pushes it toward the left boards. It's cleared out to center by the Bearcats. Declan McDermott dumps it in below the goal line. Dallaire plays it behind his own net. Here come the Bearcats out of their own zone. Reichel Davis had his pass intercepted as Schaefer got in the way, and it's pushed into the corner in the offensive zone for the Bearcats. Dumped along the right boards. Now in front, a knockaway and a steal as Tanner Bettis was open, but couldn't quite corral the puck. Redbirds have it. Here's Switek over the line. His shot blocked in the slot, and it's hoisted out towards center ice. Dager back to get it for Illinois State. Lead pass ahead as Brian Buchholz comes into the zone. Buchholz sends one in. That goes back to the far side for Parker Turch's shot, which is stopped by Dallaire. Turch gets the rebound as it comes all the way out to the line. Dumped down into the corner right side. Now the puck reverses left and comes back out, and the Bearcats have possession. Brady Nance sends it ahead. Dylan Posh gets to it and sends it over to the boards. Held in at the line by Anderson. Anderson swings it around to the far side, left-hand side of the offensive zone. Buchholz back to get it for Illinois State. Centering pass out front. Rosansky sends it back for a shot. That one taken off the stick of Nance. It's swallowed up by Dylan Posh, and the faceoff will come back in the into the Redbird zone. 17:05 to play in the opening period. Faceoff to the right of Dylan Posh. Connor O'Neill back on the ice after getting his equipment situation solved. He pushes the draw back behind the net. Bearcats get to it. Loose puck in front. Knocked away at the last moment as Matthias Alexandrov had an opportunity. Now Luka Weinkoff comes in, gets rid of the icing as the Redbirds play on. Out of the right corner come the Bearcats into the offensive zone. Anderson moves in over the line. Looks to center it, gets his pass blocked back, right back into the corner where he's at. Alexandrov looks to get it out. Now a whistle stops play with 16:32 to play. And a tripping call coming up. Against whom is the question? It'll be a trip on Illinois State. So the Bearcats will have the first power play opportunity of the night. Illinois State penalty number 39, Sam Truxaw, 2 minutes for tripping. Time of the penalty, 3:28 first period. Redbird penalty, Truxaw, 2 minutes for tripping at 3:28. As Dylan Posh makes the save, and the Redbirds keep the Bearcat power play off the board. Still a minute 46 of power play time for McKendree. Face off to the right of Dylan Posh. Pavel Bakhtin wins the face-off. Controlled, though, by Joe McCormick. As they work the point, Rosansky. Back to McCormick on the far side of the circle. Looking for a centering pass, knocked away and cleared by the Redbirds. 4 minutes gone by in the opening period, still no score. Luka Weinkoff with the forecheck, pushes the puck back into the McKendree end. Finally, the Bearcats get away. Here comes Rosansky over the line. cuts into the circle, fires, saved by Dylan Posh, and he gives no rebound. 15:42 for the first, 1:11 remaining in the Bearcat power play, and the faceoff will be in the Redbird zone. Faceoff will be to the left of Dylan Posh. Sawyer Lounsdale will take the faceoff for McKendree. It's won by Illinois State and cleared the length of the ice as Luca Weinkauf sends it all the way down. Final 60 of the Bearcat power play, 15.5 to play in the first. Lounsdale comes in over the line, centering pass out front. Posh with the save, and he covers it up. Dylan Posh had to go post to post quicker than a cat's blink, and that time Dylan Posh was equal to the task. Faceoff will be to the right of Dylan Posh. Here's the faceoff. Pushed back behind the Redbird net. Schaefer tries to play it for the Redbirds. Lost it at the side of the net. Now on the right side. It comes back out to the point. Cross ice feed. Misconnection. As Connor McDonald tried to set it up. His pass left the zone, so McKendree has to back out in the final 30 of the power play. 5 minutes gone by here in the opening period. Over the line comes Bettis. Poke checked away by Schaefer at the last moment. Puck goes behind the net. McDermott sends it back out where it's held in by Begich. He comes around the boards to the near side. Here come the Bearcats once again. Lounsdale sends it down into the corner. 3, 2, and 1, and the penalty is over, and both teams are back at full strength. As a puck comes out near the line, the Redbirds get to it. Ryan Callahan moves in over the line, takes the hit, pays the price. The shot just wide of the target. As Caden Day looked to let one go. Or check it, that was Dominic Dager who let it go after the pass by Callahan. Callahan paid the price but completed the pass and gave the Redbirds a scoring opportunity. Face-off in the McKendree zone. Won by the Bearcats, held in at the line by Zimmerman. Nate Zimmerman drops it off. Ryan Spireen lost the handle of the puck. Zimmerman comes in to cover, sends it in back behind the cage. Bearcats look to escape the zone. Here's Caden Day with a shot. Didn't quite get all of that one, and it's covered up by Dylan Dallaire, and he'll take a face-off with 13:55 to play here in the first. Here's a quick shot off the face-off by Day. That one went wide of the target. Here's a centering pass out front. The shot taken by Carson Pishker. He didn't get all of that one, and it's covered up by Dylan Dallaire. So the face-off will stay in the McKendree zone. Face-off, one back to the line. Zimmerman in front. Quick shot by Day. That one stopped by Dallaire. Rebound comes all the way out, held in for a moment, and then sent back in. As Spireen on the forecheck, now a delayed offside coming up against Illinois State will bring the faceoff out to neutral ice. Spireen did not realize that the puck had come out of the zone. He continued the forecheck, and when he touched the puck, committed the offside violation. And they will bring the faceoff all the way back into the Redbird zone because of the intentional offside. Face-off will be to the right of Dylan Posh. Face-off won by the Redbirds. They try to send it out to the line. It's knocked away and sent back over to the far side. Now near side, Truxaw has it as he comes in over the Bearcat line. Truxaw had it knocked away and picked up by McKendree. Bearcats can't get away as they send it across over to the far boards on the right. Long lead pass ahead. Tracked down by Illinois State. No icing as we play on. Sent back behind the Redbird net. As Trey Aramuspe sent it in. Now the steal as it's picked up by Matthias Alexandrov. Behind the play, McDermott takes his player down. Puck loose in the corner. Now picked up by the Redbirds on the far boards. Held in for a McKendree shot that's stopped by Dylan Posh, and he will cover it up to get a stoppage. Oliver Keel on the ice kept that one in at the last moment. Faceoff will be in the Redbird end of the ice. It'll be to the right of Dylan Posh. Here's the faceoff. Pushed into the corner. Bennett Uchaz sends it up to the line. Redbird steal and move forward as it's knocked away from Gio Barghini and sent back into the Redbird zone. Jackson Schaefer tries to clear it. It's sent back behind the Redbird cage. Play comes out of the corner, and the Redbirds dump it out to center, just too far in front of Barghini. And the Bearcats get possession back. Lead pass ahead, trying to find Brady Nance. It's stolen away by Declan McDermott for the Redbirds. Now the Redbirds in over the lines. Cross ice feed. Dager goes to the corner to try to pick it up. Dager behind the net. Sends it out front. Buckholz. Spun back by Parker Turch. Down below the goal line. Here's a quick centering pass. Weinkoff took the shot and it was blocked back into the Redbird zone. Turch will dump it in over the red line. Comes all the way over to the far corner. Down below the goal line, kicked away by the Bearcat defense. Bearcat still can't clear it out of the zone. It's held in by Parker Turch at the far line. Sent in for a shot. That one towed in and retrieved by Dylan Dallaire. And the faceoff will stay in the Bearcat zone. 10:57 to play in the first. And these familiar foes are reacquainting themselves with each other. And a reminder, these two teams will again be in action tomorrow night down in Lebanon at the McKendree Recplex. That game scheduled for a 6 o'clock faceoff down in southeastern Illinois. Probably about 30 miles outside of St. Louis. Now the puck dumped into the McKendree bench, and it's quickly retrieved, and we'll restart play with another faceoff in the Bearcat end. Faceoff pushed down below the goal line, now retrieved by Dallaire, and he'll take a faceoff and just maintain the status quo at the moment. Shots so far in the game in favor of the Bearcats, but Illinois State just evened that up as now they poke at it as Dominic Dager down low tried to poke at it while Dylan Dallaire was covering it. Dallaire able to cover it up, and he'll get a face-off. Redbirds now in front 7-6 in shots on goal here in the period. 10:42 left in the first. Dager will take the face-off against Davenport. Face-off sent out to neutral ice. Parker Turch gets to it for Illinois State. He backhands it back into the McKendree zone. Long lead pass. That one went right through the 5-hole of Jacob Switek and all the way down the ice. If it were baseball, it'd be a bouncer that went right through the wickets. Unfortunately, it's hockey, so we have to say 5-hole. Here's the steal as McKendree gets possession as Begich comes over the line. He'll fire one in. Save made by Posh. And now he kind of clears his own way out as Jacob Begich was checking in. It was coming in to try to force a little pressure. Dylan Posh standing up for himself, kind of pushing him away with the catching glove. Nothing more comes of it, and the Redbirds will get the face-off in their own zone. Face-off to the left of Posh. 10-10 left in the first. Now Davenport sent out, Lonsdale in for the face-off. And the face-off controlled by Illinois State. Here's Caden Day over the line, firing in, low shot, save made by Dallaire. Rebound to the corner, another centering pass out front. Spirene couldn't get his shot to go through. It's held in by the Redbirds. Back in the deep corner on the left side, pardon me. Sent up for Tanner Bettis. He sends it up ice. Here's Davenport over the line. Davenport tried to center it, blocked along below the goal line. The Redbirds get possession. Over the line comes Carson Pishker, and he is ruled to be offside on the play. One too many stick handles that time by Carson Pishker, and the face-off will come out to neutral ice. Connor McDonald in neutral ice. Sends it across as Oliver Keel dumps it in for the Bearcats. 9:15 to play here in the first, still no score. Redbirds have it in center. Here's Ryan Spirene over the line. Lost it, and now a penalty coming up. Might be a hooking call against McKendree. Going to be a high sticking call instead. So the Redbirds go on the power play for the first time tonight. McKendree penalty number 6, Connor McDonald, 2 minutes for high sticking. Time of the penalty, 10:55 first period. Bearcats penalty, McDonald, 2 minutes for high sticking at 10:55. So the Redbirds work the power play as Weinkoff sends it back out to the point. McDermott with a shot. That one stopped by Dallaire, and he will control the rebound. 8:41 to play in the first. .97 remaining in the Redbird power play as the face-off is to the right of Dylan Dallaire. Redbirds win the draw. Tricarico sets it up along the boards on the near side. Down below the goal line. Comes back out to the point in Tricarico. O'Neill to Barghini. Back over to Truxaw. He dumps it into the right corner. Send around to Barghini. Barghini now on the left side. Reverses it back to the right for Truxaw at the circle. Truxaw tries to get away from pressure. It's sent out and now pushed out to neutral ice as the Bearcats clear. Good job that time by Matthias Alexandrov. Redbirds control, look to counter quickly. That's Pavel Bakhtin having some trouble against the forecheck of Alexandrov. Redbirds do come away with it. Here is Switek over the line. Drops it into the corner for Dager. Back to Switek at the circle. Switek skates toward the corner. Now comes back toward the middle of the ice, sends it back down low. Switek out to the point and Dager on the right side. Dager cross ice to Schaefer left side. Fires one in. That one wide of the target and out of the zone. 20 seconds remaining in the Redbird power play. 7:20 remaining in the opening period. Still no score between Illinois State and McKendree. Here's Switek moving through traffic. Cuts back out to the line. Dumped in front. Stolen away, and the Bearcats look to advance as the final seconds come off the power play for Illinois State. Both teams back at full strength. Dager sends it across into the defense's right corner. Switek had it for a moment, then they had it knocked away by Mateo Salvatore. Here's a steal as McKendree over the line. Quick shot. Dylan Posh makes 2 saves as Bennett Uchaz was in all alone with the goaltender. And Dylan Posh again stops the Bearcats cold. .641 remaining here in the first. And the face-off will be to the left of Dylan Posh. Face-off controlled by the Redbirds. They have it behind their own net as they work out. They get it out to center where the Bearcats take back over as Trevor Voida sends it into the Redbird zone. Salvatore back out for Timish Gugij's shot. That one goes wide. May have been kicked away. I do think Dylan Posh got a hold of that one, and he did. Voida sets things back up for the McKendree Bearcats. Uchaz has the puck at center. Now works into the Redbird zone. Fires a shot. Save made by Posh, and his rebound comes all the way out to center ice. Under 6 minutes to play here in the opening period, as the Bearcats look to reset and start from behind their own net. Cross ice feed, Weinkoff able to hold it in for the Redbirds. O'Neill along the boards on the right side. Dumped down low, Barghini. Barghini has it to the left side. Centering pass out front. Quick save made by Dallaire. Rebound goes into the corner. Another shot. Dallaire again makes the save as the Redbirds got the puck in the circle. And the face-off will stay in the McKendree zone. Luka Weinkoff got that last shot. And so far, the two goaltenders have played on pretty equal terms. Face-off again to the left of Dallaire. He stops it with the glove as it comes in quickly. Buck goes back behind the net. Redbirds have it. At the point is Lechner. His shot blocked over the boards. And the Bearcats get to it. 3-on-1 if they hurry. Moving it over the line. Quick shot. That got the post as Reichel Davis drew iron. He beat Dylan Posh, but it caught the pipe. Back behind the net. Uchaz goes to get it. We're under 5 to play in the first. Quickly ahead to Keel. He'll dump it in from the red line. Schaefer cycles it back. Here's a centering pass out front, blocked away. Redbirds get to it. As Barghini moves in, had his stick lifted, trying to center it. McDermott a shot. That one blocked out front. And now a stoppage as Tanner Bettis got control of the puck, and one of the McKendree players is definitely feeling that shot block. That one looked like it got him right on the knee, where the knee cap on the shin guard meets the shin guard itself, and it's not as fortified, if you will. Kind of like when an umpire takes one off the shin. That doesn't feel good, believe me. It's the closest thing I can equate it to because that's the only thing I've experienced. Faceoff stays in the McKendree zone. It'll be to the left of Dylan Dallaire. Faceoff won by the Redbirds. Cutting in front with a shot. That one stopped again. Dallaire made the stop on Callahan. Here come the Bearcats back. Over the line comes Rosansky. He takes it into the corner right side. Redbirds get to it and send it out to center. Anderson tries to swipe it back in. Now an offside coming up against McKendree as Sawyer Lonsdale trying to come in before anybody else cleared out of the zone. So the faceoff will come out to neutral ice with 4:02 to play in period number 1. Redbirds get the faceoff as they work out of their own end. Declan McDermott. Dager sends it all the way down, back behind the net. Dallaire has to play it out, does so to the left. Quickly over the line comes Begish. Begish dumps it into the corner, gets the return pass, couldn't quite get a shot away. Redbirds control. Here comes Stricarico, moving through the line. Stricarico into the zone, centering pass across, could not find Switek, and it's stolen away. Begish gets it back for McKendree. Quickly ahead to Lounsdale. Back to Begish on the point. Begish had it knocked away, stolen. Here come the Redbirds back. It's Pavel Bakhtin with it in the circle. He gets it knocked away by Tibishko Gije into the corner. Bearcats have it. Trevor Voida gets it out to center. Callahan takes it away. Here's Bakhtin with a shot. That one stopped by Dallaire, and he covers it up. And will take a face-off with 2:57 to play in period number 1. Face-off will be to the right of Dylan Dallaire. It's pushed into the corner. Redbirds couldn't hold it in, but they will track it down at center. Callahan dumps it in from the line. Bearcats get possession. Stolen away by Buchholz at center. He'll hoist it down ice, and it goes into the netting. So the face-off will stay in neutral ice. It'll actually be a center ice face-off with 2 minutes and 41 seconds to play on the period. Redbirds now with a 13-11 shot advantage in the period. Buchholz wins the draw for Illinois State. Stolen away, picked up by Alex Kent. Kent gets the return pass and scores. Alex Kent gets his second goal of the season. And McKendree, with 2:31 to play in the first, takes a 1-0 lead. McKendree goal, his second of the season, scored by number 91, Alex Kent, assisted by number 29, Trey Aramuspe. Time of the goal, 17:29, first period. Bearcats goal scored by Kent, assisted by Aramuspe at 17:29. So with 2 minutes to play in the opening period, McKendree out to a 1-0 lead as they control the puck in their own end. Redbirds trying to hold it in. It's dumped back in, but had already cleared out of the zone. Redbirds tag back out, and here come the Bearcats back in. That one hit the linesman and stayed onside. It didn't go all the way down the ice. Uchaz sends it back behind the Redbird net with 1:35 to play in the period. Here's Rosansky. His shot blocked out front. Sent back for Uchaz. Big shot. That one stopped in front. That one taken by Anderson with 1:20. Redbirds have it now as Truxaw moves in over center. Truxaw dumps it into the right corner as we get ready to approach the final 70 seconds. McDermott lost the handle. 1 minute to play in the period, 1 minute remaining. Here's Weinkoff trying to tip it in on Dallaire. That one steered aside, and McDermott has to track back to get it in the final 50 seconds. McDermott sends it ahead for O'Neill. O'Neill gets around a check, now moves in, fires, saved by Dallaire, and he hangs on with 42.4 remaining in the period. Face-off will stay in the McKendree zone, again to the right of Dylan Dallaire as the Redbirds get a change. As Dager pushes the face-off, it's sent in on Dallaire. He closes up the near post. Final 35 seconds of the period as the puck goes into the corner. Redbirds couldn't hold it in. It escapes the zone. The Redbirds have to tag back out with 25 seconds. Zimmerman sets it up for Tricarico, who moves in over the line. Tricarico, 1-on-4, sends it in. That one went off the side of the net with 15. Back out to the point. Stolen away and sent back as Tibish Gogije goes to get it for the Bearcats. He sends it across Buckholtz with 5 seconds. Looks to center it, set out front. Dallaire the shot. He'll glove it as it bounced up with 0.8 seconds remaining in the period. Redbirds will get a face-off, but not a lot of time to work with here in the end of the first period. Might be enough time just to push one at the net and see if you can get it to go in before the clock hits 0. Face-off for Switek, and that'll do it for period number 1. Your score at the end of 1 period of play, the McKendree Bearcats 1, your Illinois State Redbirds 0. Shots on goal in the first period, Illinois State 16, McKendree 12. No penalties will carry over into period number 2. So 16-12 shot advantage for Illinois State after 20 minutes of hockey. Our only scoring of the period came at the 2:31 mark of the first as Alex Kent got his second of the year. The assist going to Trey Aramuspe, and that gave the Bearcats what the lead they had. It gave the Bearcats the lead they have now, at 1-0. One penalty called on each side, both 2-minute minors, and that takes us through 20 minutes of hockey here on a Friday night in downtown Bloomington. 20 down, 40 to go here from the Bloomington Ice Center in the Joe Olson Ice Rink. Your score after 1 period. Illinois State trails McKendree 1-0 on the Illinois State Hockey YouTube channel. Welcome back to the Bloomington Ice Center, Joe Olson Ice Rink. L.A. Decker back with you as we get set for period number 2 between the Bearcats of McKendree University and the Illinois State Redbirds. It is 1-0 in favor of McKendree after 20 minutes of hockey. The lone goal of the game so far, Alex Kent picked up his second of the season at the 2:31 mark of period number 1, which leaves us where we are currently at 1-0. McKendree. Teams have switched sides and they will operate in opposite directions. It'll be the Redbirds of Illinois State now operating from left to right as we see it along with you here in period number 2. Same two teams again tomorrow night, although the venue will change. It'll be down at the McKendree Recplex. 6 o'clock face-off down in Lebanon, just outside of St. Louis. As we are back underway here in period number 2, the McKendree Bearcats have the possession to start the middle stanza. Here's a quick shot in. That one went high and wide as it was taken by Tanner Bettis. Or check it. That was Jacob Begish. Redbirds trying to get it to center at least, and now they do as Gio Barghini has it. Barghini crisscrosses over the line. Here's a shot saved by Dallaire. Rebound out front, and Dallaire will cover it up. Barghini left it for the trailer. And Sam Truxon was able to get a shot away. Dallaire made the stop, and face-off will be in the McKendree zone. Just 34 seconds into period number 2. Bearcats win the draw as Rosansky sends it along the boards. It goes down into the Illinois State end. Redbirds able to get control, now lose it for a moment as it's taken away by the Bearcats as Switek tries to get it away at the line and finally does get into neutral ice. Switek drops it off for McDermott. McDermott along the near boards. Lost the handle on the puck and now loose in the middle. Here's McDermott with a shot, gloved down by Dallaire. And he will hang on and take a face-off to reset everything. Face-off to the left of Dallaire. Dager has been ejected from the face-off. Tricarico will come in and take the draw for Illinois State. McKendree gets control of the puck. Stolen back by the Redbirds. Switek dumps it down back behind the Bearcat net. McKendree able to get to it, but not past Buchholz. So excuse me, not past Switek. Salvatore sends it across, moving in with a shot. Dylan Posh makes the save as cutting in was Bennett Uchaz, and the Bearcats are thwarted on that attempt. Minute 40 gone by here in the second. And the goaltenders continue their hot play right now. Face-off won by the Bearcats. There's a shot sent in, that by McDonald. Now in the right corner. Salvatore tries to dig it out. Redbirds get to it and send it out to neutral ice. 3-on-1 if the Redbirds hurry. Here's Callahan moving in. Centered across, couldn't quite get it to Barghini. It was tipped away by Dallaire. On the counterattack comes back Brady Nance. Nance over the line for the Bearcats, sends it across. It's sent back in for a centering attempt. Brady Nance tried to get to it as it's centered by Connor McDonald. Now the Redbirds able to get it out to the Bearcat into the ice, where the Bearcats are able to control. Aiden Basetic had to go by him and now goes all the way down the ice. No icing calls. It was tipped on the way by Brady Nance for McKendree. Now a whistle stopping play with 17:22 to play here in the second. And apparently they say the net was loose, so the stoppage in play. Dylan Posh explaining to the referee he might have been contacted on that play. The referee says he'll keep an eye on it. As the faceoff is sent all the way down, as the Redbirds send it down, it'll be icing. So the faceoff will come all the way back into their own end. Here's the face-off, one back to the line by the Bearcats, sent out in front, tipped and goes high over the crossbar. Comes out to the neutral zone where it's sent all the way back down. Dylan Dallaire plays it off. Redbirds able to steal in front. Quick shot, that one stopped as Pishker got a steal. It's stopped by Dallaire. Puck comes loose at center and the Redbirds get to it, but the pass by Lechner was tipped away. Pishker sends it ahead to Sperine. Ryan Sperine over the line. Takes it to the corner, centering pass out front, nobody home. Out to the line, Pishker holds it in, fires one, saved Dallaire, and he hangs on. 20th shot of the game for Illinois State. 4 in the period. They lead 4-2 in shots on goal here in period number 2 thus far. Face off in the McKendree zone. It'll be to the right of Dylan Dallaire. Redbirds win the draw. McDermott spins it down below the goal line. Back behind the net it goes out to the right corner. Redbirds trying to force the play. Pass tipped, it goes high in the air. Glove down and played by Trevor Voida. Voida got a centering pass off. Now out front, a wraparound, coming all the way back around. Tibishko DJ sends it out front, stolen away by the Redbirds. Here comes Gio Barghini. Barghini cuts, toe drag, knocked away at the last moment. Nice play by Tarsisius Chibishko-Gije. And the icing call against the Bearcats with 15:46 to play. Face-off will be to the left of Dylan Dallaire. Parker Turch had it knocked away, his pass stolen. Turch able to dump it in. Redbirds have to clear out of the zone. Long lead pass ahead, just missed connection with Jonathan Davenport. And the Redbirds able to get control. At center, though, it's dumped in by Sawyer Lounsdale. Back behind the net, Dylan Posh watches the action come through. Here's Dager. Lead pass ahead, Tricarico into the slot, fires that one blocked, kicked aside though by Dallaire. Out to the point, Zimmerman a shot, swallowed up by Dylan Dallaire, and he hangs on. 15:08 to play here in period number 2. Next faceoff will be in the Bearcat zone. As Dallaire gets a drink from his water bottle. Face-off will be to his right. Redbirds have the draw. Turch dumps it back into the corner. Along the left-hand boards. Turch tries to come away with it. It goes back into the corner. Bearcats able to get to it on the near side. That's Zimmerman. Able to control but lost it at center. Reichel Davis Picks it up in neutral ice. Played ahead by Tanner Bettis. Bettis with a shot. That one stopped by Posh. Rebound controlled by the Redbirds for a moment, then lost at center. Here's Bettis. Tried to toe drag through two defenders. It goes into the corner. Redbirds able to steal it back behind the net. Redbirds advance to center ice, but now a whistle and a hand pass is going to be called against Illinois State. So the faceoff will come all the way back into the Redbird end with 14:10 to play in the middle period. 6-3 shot advantage for Illinois State thus far. Face off to the right of Dylan Posh. Redbirds send it up ice. Here's Callahan crashing into the net. He gets pushed. Let's see what happens as down goes Dylan Dallaire. The net comes off the moorings. Let's see what happens with this call, or is nothing going to happen with 14:01 remaining here in the second. They will go ahead and reset the net. And no penalties are called, so we will continue to play on with a face-off coming up in the McKendree zone to the left of Dylan Dallaire. Face-off one down below the goal line and controlled by the Bearcats as they send it out to center ice. Truxaw had it for a moment. Now Bachton tries to get it out of the Redbird zone. It's stolen back, picked up by Bennett Uchaz, who takes the shot. That one stopped by Dylan Posh, and he will hang on and take a face-off. Bachton sends the face-off to the boards on the right side. Redbird's able to get to it and send it forward. Here's Pavel Bachton with it. Bachton will dump it in from the red line, no icing, as the play continues on. Hayden Basetic with a steal behind the net, took it away from Anderson. Now a fight for the puck along the near boards. Taken back around the net. Comes out to the left corner in the offensive zone for Illinois State. Bearcats get possession and look to move forward. Cade Rosansky over the line. He'll fire one in. That one stopped by Dylan Posh, and he hangs on. Both goalies tonight have done an outstanding job. When they get the puck near wherever they're at, they are going to control it, and they are not going to give up too many rebounds. As a face-off will stay in the Illinois State end. Alexandrov sends it down below the goal line. Bearcats look to set things up. Tibishko Gije at the point, couldn't hold it in. Bearcats will tag out of the zone, now re-enter as they're onside. Alex Kent fires one in, that one stopped again by Dylan Posh. Trey Aramuspe was in there, also putting pressure on Dylan Posh. Face-off will be to Posh's right. Tibishko Gije tries to hold it into the point, lost the handle on it. And again, the Bearcats have to scramble. They get out of the zone and come back in. Centering pass out front, knocked back behind the net. Alexandrov couldn't get to it. It's sent all the way back down the ice. No icing call as it was played by McKendree. Alexandrov picks it up at center. Lead pass ahead for Kent. Tipped in on net by Anderson. It just went wide of the target. Redbird's able to come away with it as Weinkoff sends it back into the Bearcat zone. 12:05 to play here in the second. Redbirds trail 1-0. Aramuspe comes in over the line. Drops it off by Keel, Oliver Keel. Sends it across ice. Held in by Jacob Begish. Now Lounsdale lost the handle on the puck, and the Redbirds able to take it away. Lead pass ahead. Switek had it swiped away by Connor McDonald into the corner. And a whistle stopping play with 11:36 to play. In period number 2 as the puck goes out of play. Face-off will be in the Bearcat zone. It goes into the Illinois State bench. Face-off to the left of Dylan Dallaire. He checks one away at the last moment as it was sent out front by Tricarico. Redbirds holding it in. Here's Lechner. Couldn't quite get it in the slot. Finally picked up by Dager, who takes a shot. That one stopped by Dallaire. Here's Tricarico. That one over the top of the crossbar. Bouncing puck in front. Tricarico backhand. Saved Dallaire, and he covers it up. Now some pushing and shoving in the Bearcat crease at 11:10 to play in the second. And one could only think if the game continues along this line that each of those possessions that get close to the net are going to become a little more frantic. Face off to the right of Dylan Dallaire. Redbirds win the draw. Here's Truxell with a shot. Save again by Dallaire, and he hangs on. Redbirds now with 8 shots on goal in the period, 7 for McKendree. Dager to take the face-off against Davenport. Dager quickly ejected. Tricarico will take over. No, take it back, it'll be Switek. Redbirds again win the draw. Dager gets to it. Truxell down low for Dager in the corner left side. Back out to the point, knocked away, and Redbirds able to control it center. Here's Tricarico dumping in from the blue line, and it goes back behind the net. So we will have to get a fresh, frozen, vulcanized rubber disc from our official scorer, Mr. Dan Glatt, as we continue play. Now the linesman comes over to get a new puck. He'll deliver it to his partner. And we're ready to resume play. 10:51 remaining in the middle stanza. Here's the face-off. Pushed into the corner on the near side. Redbirds have it. Tricarico steps in, fires. That one blocked aside. Gonna be tipped. It'll stay in the McKendree zone for the next face-off. Both teams allowed to make a change. Face-off will be moved over to the left circle, so it'll be to the right of Dylan Dallaire. Face-off still loose, now finally picked up by the Bearcats, and they send it around the boards. Redbirds attempt to hold it in. It stays in the zone as Dager moves over into the corner to play it. Penalty coming up against McKendree. Here's a scramble out in front. Redbirds still have the puck. Truxell looks to move through. Now it's controlled by Joe McCormick, and the penalty will be called against McKendree. The Redbirds go back to the power play at the 10:14 mark of period 2. Cade Rosansky is the guilty party in this case. McKendree penalty number 16, Cade Rosansky, 2 minutes for hooking. Time of the penalty, 9:46, second period. Bearcats penalty, Rosansky, 2 minutes for hooking at 9:46. So the Redbirds back on the power play for the second time tonight, 0 for 1 so far in the evening. Back down below the goal line. Sent out front, Truxall fires a shot. Blocker save made by Dallaire. Rebound goes into the left corner. Sent back out to the point for Truxall. Now a one-timer by Lechner goes wide of the target. Held in by Weinkauf, and now a whistle stopping play as the net has come off the moorings once again with 9:38 to play here in the second. We're halfway through the period, halfway through the contest here on this Friday night in Bloomington. Glad you could join us here on the Illinois State Hockey YouTube channel. L.A. Decker back with you once again as the faceoff controlled by the Redbirds. Here's Barghini with a shot. That one handcuffed Dallaire. Rebound goes back behind the net. Set up along the corner. Back out to the point, Truxall. Truxall bangs it off the boards. Redbirds control. Two Redbirds run into each other as Weinkauf and Barghini collided. Here's Barghini with a stuff shot. That one went wide of the target as it was pushed aside by Dallaire. The Redbirds have to track it back down. Long lead pass ahead, Barghini as he sets it up. Bouncing pass out front. Dager, or check it, Basetic tried to move in. 50 seconds remaining in the power play. As it comes all the way back out of the zone, Dager will control. Dominic Dager drops it off for Jacob Switek. He'll move through center and now into the Bearcats' end. Switek will take it over to the corner. Back behind the net. Sent back out to the point. Held in by Schaefer. Schaefer sends it down low to Pavel Bakhtin. Back out to the point and Dager. Dager along the left boards. Holds and looks with 15 go in the power play. Sent across, Switek fires, saved by Dallaire, and he hangs on with 8:25 to play in the second. Next faceoff with 12 remaining in the power play for Illinois State will be in the McKendree zone. Face-off to the left of Dylan Dallaire. Face-off won by the Redbirds. Schaefer at the line. 10 left in the power play as he drops it down into the corner. Back out to the point for a shot. That one whistled wide by Switek. Picked up by the Bearcats. Penalty over. Both teams at full strength. Long lead pass and now in a whistle stopping play as it might have been touched by a high stick. Or is it offside? Oh, they're going to call too many men on the ice. The bench minor coming up against the Bearcats. As the penalty expired, they tried to get a breakout and got caught with too many men on the ice. So the bench minor will give the Redbirds another power play. McKendree penalty, a bench minor for too many men on the ice. Penalty to be served by number 19, Reichel Davis. Time of the penalty, 11:50, second period. Bench minor against the Bearcats for too many men on the ice, served by Davis at now 11:50. So the Redbirds, 12 shots so far in the period. Bearcats with 7. Face-off will be to the left of Dylan Dallaire. As Will Tricarico steps into the face-off circle for Illinois State. Sent out to the point, stolen away. And here come the Bearcats on a short-handed rush. As Joe McCormick took it as far as he could and killed some time. Now the Redbirds move forward out of the zone. Here's Weinkauf dumping it in. Goes cross ice with it. Anderson lets it go by. Redbirds have it behind the net. Centering pass out front. Barghini couldn't handle it. Now takes the shot. And a penalty coming up. Or what is the call? It's going to be a face-off coming out of the zone. What in the world? This is a call that doesn't make sense unless they're saying a hand pass is called. But how can it be a hand pass if it was to yourself? He caught the puck himself and put it down and took the shot. In any case, the face-off in neutral ice, won by the Redbirds. Here's Bakhtin with it. Bakhtin stick-handled out of the zone. Stolen away, now a steal by the Bearcats. Here's a quick shot taken by Davenport. That one goes wide of the target. Now the Bearcats look to kill some time with a forecheck. Redbirds get control and now start out of their own end. Dominic Dager will dump it into the Bearcat end. 45 remaining in the power play. 6:50 remaining here in period 2. Down below the goal line. Redbirds send it back out to the point. Here's Schaefer with a shot. That one kicked aside by the defense. Dager lost it for a moment. Backhands it back to Bogdan. Bogdan down low for Basetic. Basetic along the goal line. Back over to Dager. Penalty coming up. Here's a shot saved by Dallaire as Dominic Dager took an opportunity. And now another penalty coming up. It's going to be a tripping call against McKendree. The Redbirds will have a very short 5-on-3. And we'll have another power play chance. They'll stay on the power play after that penalty. So the Redbirds with a 15-second 5-on-3 and will stay on the power play after that. McKendree penalty number 14, Sawyer Lounsdale, 2 minutes for tripping. Time of the penalty, 13:36, second period. Bearcats penalty, Lounsdale, 2 minutes for tripping at 13:36. So stoppage in play, still 2 seconds remaining on the 2-man advantage for Illinois State. They'll have about 1 minute and 46 back on the power play. As the penalty is over, they'll go 5-on-4 now. Redbirds still on the power play. Barghini sent across the truck saw. Here's a shot. Taken and they score! Tricarico's shot was stopped by Dallaire. The rebound given up, and the Redbirds tie it at 1. Illinois State goal scored on the power play, his third of the year by number 12, Will Tricarico. Assisted by number 39, Sam Truxaw, and number 11, Connor O'Neill. Time of the goal, 14 minutes, second period. Redbird goal on the power play scored by Tricarico, assisted by Truxaw and O'Neill at 14 minutes. So the Redbirds found a way to tie it. They have been peppering Dylan Dallaire with shots, and that was the first time they were able to get it past him. Now working into the zone is Aramuspe. He had it knocked away, and the Bearcats go back to get it quickly. Connor McDonald sets things up for the Bearcats as they look to move out of their own end. Here's a steal by Illinois State. Taken back, though, as McDonald lost it at the line. Redbirds able to come away with it. Caden Day takes it into the zone, fires one in. Dallaire makes the save, and he will hang on and take a face-off in his own end with 5:14 to play in the second. Face-off to Dallaire's right, or left, pardon me. Tricarico tries to control the face-off, had his stick knocked out of his hands and picked up by the Bearcats. Moving ahead has been at Uchaz, and offside is the call against the Bearcats. So the face-off will come out to neutral ice. Neutral ice face-off won by the Bearcats as it's picked up by Anderson with 5 minutes to play here in the middle period. Here's a steal by Dager, but he couldn't control it. Long lead pass ahead, trying to get it to Brady Nance. It missed connection. It'll be icing against McKendree with 4:51 to play in the second. 3 penalties have been called so far here in this second period against McKendree, which gave the Redbirds the opportunity on the power play, which they were able to cash in on. They have evened the game at 1, has Illinois State. Here's Schaefer at the point on the left side. Sends it in for a shot. That one blocked down by the defense and finally picked up by the Bearcats as Mateo Salvatore sends it forward. Again, the Redbirds turn them away. Approaching 4.5 minutes to play in the second. Declan McDermott back to get it for Illinois State. Cross ice for Schaefer, had it knocked away. Sweeping in are the Bearcats to take control. Anderson waits at the point. Here's a shot. That one went wide of the target. This one batted up in the air. Finally comes down in neutral ice, so the Bearcats have to clear out. Redbirds get to it, but they're going to be offside. Looked like Brian Buchholz was already in the zone by the time he picked the puck up, and it hadn't come into the zone yet. And that would be the reason for the icing call. 4:08 to play here in the second. Illinois State has tied it on Will Tricarico's 3rd goal of the season on the power play. Neutralized faceoff won by McKendree. Moving out with it is Joe McCormick. McCormick with a good amount of speed. We saw that in the first meeting back in October. Sent across ice. Reichel Davis along the boards. Had it knocked away. Potties go down. Redbirds able to come away with it. Here's Basetic. Drops it off for Callahan. Leaves it. Basetic couldn't catch up to it. And the Bearcats able to control now. A steal by Bogdan. His shot goes high and wide. 3.5 to play in the period. Here's a centering pass. That one kicked aside. It goes into the corner right side. Bogdan trying to get a centering pass. Couldn't quite get to it. Callahan will send it back down low. Bogdan along the left boards. Fakes the pass. Now had it stolen away as the Bearcats able to hoist it out to center. Icing waved off with 3:05 to play in the period. Down goes 2 of the Redbird players as one gets checked into the board. Now Truxaw comes in to take up for his own player, and some pushing and shoving behind the Redbird net. And it's time to play the feud on a Friday night in Bloomington. Sam Truxaw is probably coming off the ice. So Truxaw comes off the ice. The officials come over to the scorer's bench, and we will figure out who's coming over to the box for how long. So as the discussion continues, we can remind you that the next Redbird game is tomorrow night. They'll be at the Recplex in Lebanon taking on these very same McKendree Bearcats. 6 o'clock face-off. For those of you not familiar where Lebanon, Illinois is, go down Route 4 from Springfield until you get to Interstate 64, and, well, by gosh, I think you pretty much found it. Or you'll run into the Mascouda Airport, one of the two. And while we have a moment, let's send out congratulations to Cordell and Grace Decker. That was the reason why I wasn't here Saturday, is those two decided they were going to take the ultimate leap together as a couple. They have gotten married. So they are on their honeymoon right now and enjoying their time together, and we will welcome them back when they get back next weekend. Speaking of next weekend, the Redbirds will be at the Canlan Ice Center in Romeoville for a shootout. They'll have 3 games in the shootout. Redbirds always enjoy the support of those fans who are in the Chicago area as well. And if you're near the Canlan Ice Center in Romeoville, stop on by. They'll have 3 games. And of course, all our stats are provided by the ACHA website at acha.org. So a lengthy discussion going on about where our penalties are at, and the official scorer has stepped out. They're going to now tell the captains about the penalties before they tell the official scorer. We do know that Sam Trucksaw is in the box for Illinois State, and Connor McDonald's in the box for McKendree. What they're in for is going to be the question. Now they're sending another player over. Now the word being given to our official scorer, and we'll know more here in a moment. So it looks like an extra penalty is going to be called, or an extra penalty or two is called on Trucksaw. And he is going to skate over and go into the penalty, but he's going to go into the locker room early. So still waiting to hear what the penalties are going to be, as we have a bit of a delay here with 3:02 to play here in the second. So now we're going to figure this out here. I think it's all right. So we have figured this out here. So we have figured out the penalties. It looks like it's going to be a 2-minute cross check against Jack Summer. Sam Trucksaw is going to pick up a 2-minute roughing call and a 10-minute misconduct, and also a 10-minute misconduct for Connor McDonald. All those penalties coming up with 3:02 to play here in the second period. So it appears we're going to skate 4-on-4. So we are again set to get back underway, skating 4-on-4 with 3:02 to play in the second after the lengthy delay. McKendree penalties. Number 10, Jack Summer, 2 minutes for cross-checking. Number 6, Connor McDonald, a 10-minute misconduct. Illinois State penalties. Number 39, Sam Truxall, 2 minutes for roughing and a 10-minute misconduct. All penalties at 16:58 second period. Bearcat penalties. Summer, 2 minutes for cross-checking. McDonald, a 10-minute misconduct. Redbird penalties. Truxall, 2 minutes for roughing and a 10-minute misconduct at 16:58. So I guess we have now given our public address announcer his allotted time for the night. Hopefully we'll have a couple of more announcements for goals, but we'll see what happens. As we play 4-on-4, here's a lead pass ahead. Rosansky sends it in, a shot blocked and sent back. Here comes Will Tricarico. Tricarico ahead of the pack, takes it in, cuts. Whistle sounds. Did it go in before the net came off? Not sure. The Redbirds say yes. The McKendree Bearcats say no, and we're going to have another discussion about it. Will Tricarico took it back on a toe drag, trying to get it past Dylan Dallaire, and they are giving the goal to Will Tricarico. So the Redbirds will take a 2-1 lead. Tricarico scoring his second of the contest. The assist is going to be given to Jacob Switek. The Redbirds now have a 2-1 lead after coming into the period trailing 1-0. Illinois State goal, his second of the game and fourth of the season, scored by number 12, Will Tricarico. Assisted by number 22, Jacob Switek. Time of the goal, 17:56 second period. Redbird goal scored by Tricarico, assisted by Switek at 17:56. I think he was trying to milk that one there as the Redbirds control once again. Connor O'Neill has it with 90 seconds remaining in the period. Luka Weinkoff in the left corner, had it knocked away and goes back behind the goal, and the Bearcats pick it up. Anderson gets it ahead to Voida. Now Voida sends it in, stopped by Dylan Posh. The Redbirds have a chance. Here's a quick shot in front. Save made by Dylan Posh, and he hangs on. 1:07 to play in the period. 5 remaining in the man advantage, or excuse me, remaining in the 4-on-4. As the faceoff is drawn all the way back into the neutral zone. With 2 with 1, both players are out. We're at full strength. 1 minute to play in the period, 1 minute remaining. And it's taken into the corner. Aiden Basetic got a hold of it, sent it ahead to Pavel Bakhtin. Now Gio Barghini comes up the left boards, fires one. That one may have been tipped by Dallaire. Goes into the right corner with 45. Barghini behind the net, looks to center, fakes the pass. Looks again at the circle. Sends it in with a cut, now goes to the slot. McDermott sends one in. That one blocked into the corner with 30 and out of the zone. Redbirds back to get it as Ben Lechner sends it across, poked away by Davenport and stolen. Davenport trying to control along the boards. Now it's pinned up along the right side boards in the neutral zone. Redbirds couldn't come away with it. Here's a steal. Moving in with it is Begish with a shot. That one stopped by Posh. Rebound comes back out front. Final 10 seconds. Lowe's puck in the slot. Firing. Posh! Couldn't stop it as the Bearcats have tied with 3.7 remaining in the second period. So with 4 seconds remaining officially, the goal will be credited. Your score at the end of 2 periods of play, your Illinois State Redbirds 2 and the McKendree Bearcats 2. McKendree goal, his 6th of the season, scored by number 14, Sawyer Lounsdale. Assisted by number 16, Cade Rosansky, and number 3, Jonathan Davenport. Time of the goal, 19:56, second period. Bearcats goal scored by Lounsdale, assisted by Rosansky and Davenport at 19:56. Shots on goal in the second period. McKendree 11, Illinois State 20. 2-period total. Bearcats 23, Redbirds 36. So the Redbirds out shooting the Bearcats 36-23. However, on the scoreboard, the teams are equal. 3 goals in the second period, all within the final 6 minutes. Starting with Illinois State scoring at the 6-minute mark on the power play. Will Tricarico picked up his 3rd of the season, assisted by Sam Truxaw and Connor O'Neill to make it a 1-1 contest, that power play goal. Redbirds would take the lead at the 2:04 mark as Will Tricarico would pick up his 2nd of the game and 4th of the year. The assist goes to Jacob Switek. Redbirds led 2-1 with 2:04 to play in the period. And then with 4 seconds officially remaining in the second period, it was Sawyer Lounsdale picking up his 6th goal of the season. The assist going to Cade Rosansky and Jonathan Davenport at the 19:56 mark. And that closes out period number 2 with our score 2-2 Illinois State and McKendree. 5 penalties called against the Bearcats in the middle stanza, just 2 against Illinois State. 40 minutes are complete here at the Bloomington Ice Center on the Joe Olson Ice Rink, and we have settled nothing at this point. It's Illinois State 2, McKendree 2 after 2, and you're listening to Illinois State Redbird Hockey. Welcome back to the Joe Olson Ice Rink at the Bloomington Ice Center as we get set for third period action between the Illinois State Redbirds and the McKendree Bearcats. We are even at 2 apiece through 40 minutes of hockey. Redbirds are back on the ice again tomorrow night down in Lebanon at the McKendree Recplex. Then after that, they'll be at the Canlan Ice Center for a shootout beginning on Friday the 21st. More information can be found about the Illinois State hockey schedule and all of ACHA hockey. If you go to the website, acha.org, they'll have all the stats, schedules, and more information about college hockey. So we are getting set for the third period as Illinois State and McKendree have exited their locker rooms, made their way to the bench areas. It'll be the Redbirds operating from right to left as we see it along with you here in period number 3. So we are getting set to get back underway as Sam Truxon needs to make his way into the penalty box. He will step into the box. And we are ready to go, and the opening faceoff of the third period is taken by Illinois State. Here's a steal by the Bearcats as Begis should advance it. Redbirds have it. Margini lost it for a moment. Now over in the right corner. Sent back out to the point, Declan McDermott. Back to Luka Weinkauf for a shot. That one sent high and wide of the target. Puck comes out to the near side point. Schaefer holds it in for a moment, and the Bearcats able to control it. Trevor Voida will send it in. Sent back behind the Redbird net. Illinois State will start moving out to center. Here's Tricarico. Lost it at center. Comes back as Swiatek's shot goes high off the glass. Back behind the net. Redbirds had it for a moment and lost it. Now a shot in on Dallaire is stopped. That one taken by Ben Lechner. Lechner sends it around the boards. It comes all the way to the near side. Tricarico comes over to play it. They reset. Here's Weinkauf over the line. Sent a pass across. Couldn't get to anybody. Now Buchholz with a shot. That one wide of the target. Held in at the line by Lechner. Lechner tried to dump it in. Swiatek couldn't get to it. And it's played across by Lounsdale. Lounsdale has it. It's sent into the corner now. Approaching 2 minutes gone by here in the third. Redbirds have it. A swipe wraparound attempt by Swiatek is thwarted. And the Bearcats able to clear it out to center. Quickly ahead is Reichel Davis. Davis takes it to the corner. Redbirds able to steal it back. Dager will dump it in. It bounces in. Sent over to the corner by Dallaire. Aramuspe sends it across. Sent in by McKendree for a shot. Dylan Posh makes the save. Here's a shot by Anderson. That one stopped by Posh. Rebound comes out. McKendree controls. Reichel Davis had it knocked away and stolen. Redbirds trying to get to it. Here's Basetic with it. Had it knocked away. And it's sent back down the ice. It'll be icing against McKendree. 17:08 to play here in the third. So the icing call will bring the faceoff all the way back down into the Bearcat zone. 34 saves so far tonight for Dylan Dallaire. 22 for Dylan Posh as the Redbirds take a shot from the point. As Zimmerman took one from the point, it's sent wide of the target. Redbirds keep it at center. Rosansky sent across, stolen away by Bogdan. He takes it into the zone. Bogdan goes into the corner right side. Played off the puck by Rosansky. Now Bogdan got to it, trying to center it, couldn't find anybody, and it's cleared out of the zone. Zimmerman has to hustle back as he's taken off the puck. Centering pass, bouncing around, finally picked up by the Redbirds. Here's Aiden Basetic. Basetic tries to drag it across, fires a shot. That one kicked aside by Dallaire. Rebound goes into the corner. Bearcats able to get to it. Alex Kent, who scored a goal earlier tonight, takes over the puck as he gets around Caden Day. Kent still can't get out of his own zone. Drops it back for Matthias Alexandrov. Now long lead pass down ice. McDermott couldn't handle it. It's going to be icing against McKendree. 15:54 now to play in the third. And the next faceoff will go all the way back down. Or correction, they're going to call it at center. They're going to bring the faceoff to center ice instead of the McKendree zone. Face-off won by the Bearcats. Rosansky sends it into the Redbird end. Lechner tracks it down. Sends it forward. Icing waved off. It goes in on Dallaire. He'll play it over to the corner. Stolen back by Caden Day. Poke checked away at the last moment as Anderson got to it. Now the Redbirds, as the Bearcats race ahead, Bennett Uchaz got to it. Here's Brian Buckholtz. Goes over to Lechner. Sends it out to the middle, sends it out to the center ice area. At the line, fight for it, and the Bearcats able to come away with it. Bennett Uchaz will come in over the line. He'll drop it back to the point. It escapes the zone, and Tarcisius Tibishko-Gije goes back to get it. Gio Barghini dumps it into the Bearcat end. Bearcats are there. Tibishko-Gije sends it ahead for Salvatore. Redbirds able to steal. O'Neill got it ahead. Switek couldn't get to it. Here come the Redbirds back. Weinkoff sends a shot in. Sticked aside by Dallaire. Rebound goes into the corner left side. Spun back around to the right corner as the Bearcats send it out, but the Redbirds hold it in. At the point, Parker Turch fires one through traffic. That one stopped by Dallaire. Redbirds again trying to put more pressure on Dylan Dallaire. Redbirds work out of the corner. Turch couldn't get to it. Zimmerman couldn't hold it in. It goes all the way down. Long lead pass ahead. Weinkoff drops it off for Barghini. Centering pass. Couldn't find anybody. He had someone on the doorstep but couldn't quite get it to him. Now over the line comes Sawyer Lounsdale. Drops it back off for a shot. That one stopped. That one blocked by the Redbirds out front as Begish couldn't get to it. Now the Redbirds come back. Dager. He lost it as he came over the line. Lounsdale steals back. Lounsdale back over the line. Drops it off for Begish. Jacob Begish with a centering pass. Stolen back by the Redbirds as they're able to get it back behind the net. Here's a centering pass out front. Knocked away by the Redbird defense but held in by Cade Rosansky. Redbirds go back behind the net and they'll restart. Here's Switek moving in. Switek tries to drop it off. Tricarico trailing the play too far behind. Couldn't do anything with it. Redbirds clear out. Here's Declan McDermott. He gets stood up at the line. And it's sent back over to Dager. Dager will dump it in.
All right, next whistle,
as the penalties for the misconduct will have been served. So next whistle will release the two players that include Connor McDonald and Sam Truxoff for Illinois State. Here's a centering pass at the base, right at the front of the net. Trocarico couldn't get to it. Bearcats able to control as Trocarico steps into a check. It's taken away by Switek, but he lost the handle. Picked up by McCormick. Reichel Davis sends it across. Here's a play and a penalty coming up as down goes Cade Rosansky. And the Redbirds will be a man down for the next 2 minutes as Will Trocarico is going to the box. Our check-in is Dominic Dager. And an unfair drop, so we'll reset and do it again. Illinois State penalty number 92, Dominic Dager, 2 minutes for hooking. Time of the penalty, 7:36, third period. Redbird penalty, Dager, 2 minutes for hooking at 7:36. Bearcats on the power play. Here's a shot, and they score! Cade Rosansky on the power play has given the Bearcats a 3-2 lead with 12:04 remaining in the third. McKendree goal, his third of the season, scored on the power play by number 16, Cade Rosansky. Assisted by number 19, Reichel Davis, and number 23, Joe McCormick. Time of the goal, 7:56, third period. Bearcats go on the power play, scored by Rosansky, assisted by Davis and McCormick at 7:56. So the Redbirds find themselves trailing 3-2, 11.5 minutes to play now in the third as play continues on. Redbirds over the line for a shot. Day makes this shot save rebound. They score! Caden Day's shot was stopped by Dylan Dallaire, but the rebound was put in, and the Redbirds tie the game at 3. Illinois State goal, his 7th of the season, scored by number 20, Gio Barghini. Assisted by number 81, Caden Day, and number 4, Jackson Schaefer. Time of the goal, 8:38, third period. Redbird goal, scored by Barghini, assisted by Day and Schaefer at 8:38. Redbirds now even with 3 with 10:45 to play here in the third. Redbirds again putting pressure on. 5-4 the shot advantage for the Redbirds in the period. Over the line, Buckholtz got taken off the puck. He's the worse for wear after getting contacted along the boards. Spirene gives a hit. Now a penalty stoppage of play. As Ryan Spirene being greeted by some of the Bearcats in front of their own bench. Meanwhile, Brian Buckholtz makes his way over to the Redbird bench as the face-off will be in neutral ice. 10:26 to play in the third. Score tied at 3 apiece. Now both centers are thrown out of the face-off, and two new players come in. Alex Kent wins the draw for the Bearcats as Cade Rosansky goes back to get it. Rosansky's pass picked off by the Redbirds. Strikarico sends it off the boards. Bearcats get it back. Over the line comes Aramuspe. He bounces one out front. Dylan Posh watches it go through the crease. Now a shot in, stopped by Dylan Posh. And the face-off will stay in the Redbird zone with 10:05 remaining as Ben Anderson was able to get a shot from the left circle. Redbirds win the face-off as we are halfway through third period action here at the Bloomington Ice Center and the Joe Wilson Ice Rink. Here's Strikarico over the line, cuts in, fires, saved by Dallaire. Couldn't quite corral the rebound. It's sent out front, centering pass went off a skate in front, and now they score! From a crazy angle, the Redbirds score. I think they banked it off the back of Dylan Dallaire, and the Redbirds lead 4-3. So Strikarico now has a hat trick. His third goal of the night and fifth of the season. And the Redbirds take the lead. Somehow Strikarico sent it in off the back of Dylan Dallaire. Illinois State goal, his third of the game and fifth of the season, scored by number 12, Will Strikarico. Unassisted, time of the goal, 10:14, third period. Redbird goal, scored by Strikarico, unassisted at 10:14. So now approaching 9 minutes to play as Jacob Begish, the leading scorer for the Bearcats, moves in over the line, takes it to the corner. Begish, back behind the net he goes. Comes out to the left corner. Begish again looking, comes out. Sent in front, behind the net actually. Sent out for Sawyer Lounsdale. Lounsdale looks, drops it back down low. Redbirds get to it, but not out. Tibish Gagije holds it in. Redbirds do control. Send it out to center, Callahan. Ahead to Basetic, now Callahan. Fans on the shot, and it's sent back out to neutral ice by the Bearcats. 8:40 remaining in the third. Parker Turch gets away from the check of Rankel Davis, and now a whistle stops play. It's offside as Illinois State was in the zone too soon. .36 remaining here in the third. Face-off will be in the neutral zone. Joe McCormick will step in against Connor O'Neill for Illinois State. Redbirds control the draw as Parker Turch. He takes over, takes it into the zone. Dropped off, behind the net it goes. Coming back out the far side, quick shot, Turch fires, saved Dallaire. And a whistle stopping play as Dallaire had it for a moment, didn't corral it eventually. So the stoppage will keep the face-off in the Bearcats' end. Redbirds with an 8-6 shot advantage so far here in the third period. Bearcats have the puck as they move out. Oliver Keel sends it forward, finds Joe McCormick. Now a shot taken, that one by Tanner Bettis. It goes wide of the target. Into the left corner it goes with 8 minutes to play. It's sent out to the point for a shot. That one blocked aside as Keel lost the handle on the puck. Barghini the steal. Barghini moves in, fires, saved by Dallaire. And he covers it up. Whistle finally sounds as Dallaire, laying on top of the puck, will get the stoppage with 7:44 remaining. Gio Barghini making a bid to try to get the DPDO player of the game right now. The leader in the clubhouse is Will Strikarico. with 3 goals, including a power play goal, to get the Redbirds on the board in the second period. Who will take home the DPW player of the game? We will find out in 7 minutes and 44 seconds of clock time, unless we have extra time, and then we'll just wait till the end of the game to find out. Face-off will be to the right of Dylan Dallaire. It's controlled by the Bearcats. Iramuspe sends it back behind his own net to reset. Bearcats trying to get away, finally do. And it's hoisted out to center. Bouncing puck picked up by Illinois State. Ryan Sperrine comes in over the line. It's sent back to neutral ice as Truxall will dump it in. And the Redbirds will chase it down. Long lead pass ahead. That one went off the side of the net, so it is not on net and will be icing against McKendree with 7:07 to play in the third. If the score remains the same, at some point within the 2-minute mark, inside 2 minutes, you might see the McKendree coaching staff decide to get Dylan Dallaire to the bench so an extra attacker can come on. As again, icing is called against McKendree. Now 6:57 remaining in the third. Face off to the left of Dallaire. Redbirds win the draw. Here's a shot taken. That one wide of the target. Back behind the net it goes. Bearcats look to start out of their own end. It's stolen away by Truxall. He tries to drop it off, and it's finally dumped back into the Bearcats' end. Caden Day on the forecheck. Forces a bad pass. Truxall will just dump it in. Redbirds will tag out. Penalty coming up against the Redbirds. So Dylan Dallaire will come off the ice for the extra attacker. Sixth attacker on to try to get the advantage. Redbirds, however, steal at center as Declan McDermott controls. And it'll be a power play coming up for McKendree. Going to be an interference call. Illinois State penalty number 81, Caden Day, 2 minutes for interference. Time of the penalty, 13:42, third period. Redbird penalty, Day, 2 minutes for interference at 13:42. So the Redbirds looking to keep the pressure off of Dylan Posh as they work it around to the Bearcats. There are 95 remaining in the power play. At the point, it's Rosansky. Sent across, picked up by McCormick. Here's Rosansky, a shot. That one sent wide and goes all the way down the ice and rolls into the Bearcat end. It works almost as good as a clearance. Bearcats able to track it back down as McCormick works through center ice, drops it off for Lounsdale. He comes in over the line, puck left behind, and comes out of the zone as Luka Weinkoff gets to it. Weinkoff killing some more time as he just shovels it down the ice. And the Redbirds able to kill off some more time on the McKendree power play. Now 50 seconds remaining in the man advantage. McCormick had it knocked away, stolen back by Illinois State. They hoist it out to center, but it's held in by Tanner Bettis. Bettis' shot right in front, knocked away. Bettis was stopped by Dylan Posh. A pair of 88s on that play. If you're playing poker, 4-8 is a good hand. In this case, the 8s for Illinois State trumped the 8s for McKendree. Face-off will stay in the Redbird end. It'll be to the left of Dylan Posh. Redbirds send it along the boards and all the way out to clear it the length of the ice. 30 seconds remaining in the man advantage for McKendree. 4:45 remaining in regulation. Jacob Bedish over the line. Begish moves in. Takes it back down below the goal line, out to the point. Here's a shot by McDonald, sent wide of the target. Into the left corner it goes. Final 10 of the power play. Cross-ice feed and a stoppage as the whistle sounded as Reichel Davis went down in front. 4:23 remaining in the third. Face-off will stay in the Redbird zone. Dylan Posh has made 30 saves so far tonight. Now an ejection as Dager's kicked out of the face-off circle. Face-off controlled. Illinois State gets to it, swipes it down the ice. Penalty is over. Both teams back at full strength. Now 4 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in regulation. Puck goes into the corner where Parker Turch gets to it. Redbirds play it out. Buckholtz sends it out, but it's held in at the line. Begish sends it down into the corner. Begish fighting with Zimmerman in the corner. Loose puck goes into the corner. Begish controls again. Left it behind. Over to Lonsdale. He sends it back out. Redbirds get to it, and they'll clear it down into the McKendree end. Now a whistle and a penalty coming up. And it's going to be an interference call. Interference against the Bearcats. It's on Connor McDonald. McKendree penalty number 6, Connor McDonald, 2 minutes for interference. Time of the penalty, 16:27, third period. Bearcat penalty, McDonald, 2 minutes for interference at 16:27. As the shot in on Dallaire is covered by the Bearcat netminder. That is now 42 saves on the night for Dylan Dallaire. 3:19 remaining in regulation. Illinois State 4, McKendree 3. As the faceoff is finally sent down by the Bearcats and cleared the length of the ice. Redbirds will have to retrieve it as Dylan Posh sends it up the boards. O'Neill sends it across to Tricarico. Now Truxall will move in over the line. Truxall along the right boards. Takes it back down below the goal line. Sent back out to the point. Here's a shot by Tricarico, blocked into the corner. Redbirds get to it. O'Neill out to the point, Truxall. Crossover for Barghini, knocked away, stolen. Barghini got tied up that time with Trevor Voida. No penalty called as it was incidental contact. Redbirds back into the zone on the power play. Weinkauf fires one in. That one steered aside. Into the corner right side. Centering pass, nobody home as Tricarico wasn't ready for the pass, and it's knocked back into the Redbird zone. 40 seconds remaining in the man advantage for Illinois State. 2:12 remaining in regulation. 4-3 Illinois State. Begish tips it back to control it. Rosansky has it for the Bearcats as they work it back up ice. Stolen away by Switek. Switek at the line. Drops it down low, right in front, knocked away at the last moment. Switek couldn't hold it in. And it's going to be retrieved. Here comes Begish. Begish moves in, fires, save, rebound. They score! Short-handed to tie the game with 1:45 remaining. It's the leading scorer, Jacob Begish, his 12th of the year. Jacob Begish, his team-leading 12th goal of the season, has tied the game at 4 apiece with 1:45 remaining. Still 12 seconds remaining in the Redbird power play. McKendree goal scored shorthanded, his 12th of the year by number 22, Jacob Begish. Unassisted. Time of the goal, 18:15, third period. Bearcats goal shorthanded by Begish, unassisted at 18:15. 90 seconds remaining as the Bearcats come in over the line. Here's a shot by McCormick, blocked. McCormick got it back, centered across. They score and take the lead with 78 seconds remaining. As the power play ended for Illinois State, McKendree started an offensive rush, and the Redbirds now trail 5-4. With approaching 60 seconds remaining, the Redbirds, who were up by 1, now find themselves down by 1. One minute to play in regulation, 1 minute remaining. That one whistled past Dylan Dallaire. McKendree goal, his 7th of the season, scored by number 88, Tanner Bettis. Assisted by number 23, Joe McCormick. Time of the goal, 18:42, third period. Bearcats goal scored by Bettis, assisted by McCormick at 18:42. The empty net was posted. An opportunity right in front by Alexandrov, couldn't get through as the Redbirds had pulled the goaltender. Redbirds now have it in the zone. Barghini centering pass out front. Final 10 seconds to play. Into the corner it goes. Cleared out to neutral ice, and that will do it. The McKendree Bearcats come from behind and beat the Illinois State Redbirds by a final score of 5-4. Your final score this evening is the McKendree Bearcats 5 and your Illinois State Redbirds 4. Shots on goal in the third period. McKendree 13, Illinois State 11. 3-period totals, Bearcats 36, Redbirds 47. Redbird fans, your DP Doe player of the game tonight, scoring a hat trick, is number 12, Will Tricarico. Fans, a reminder, there's a zone for everyone at DP Doe. Stop by on East Buford Street in Uptown Normal. So a fantastic finish in this one as the McKendree Bearcats come from behind in the closing moments to win it 5-4 over Illinois State. The scoring was started with 12:04 remaining on a power play goal The Bearcats took a 3-2 lead. The third of the year by Cade Rosansky. The assist going to Reichel Davis and to Joe McCormick. The Redbirds countered less than a minute later, just at the 11:22 mark. It was Gio Barghini getting his team-high 7th of the season. The assist going to Caden Day and to Jackson Schaefer to tie the score at 3 apiece. The Redbirds would take a 4-3 lead as Will Tricarico would bank one home off the back of goaltender Dylan Dallaire. His 3rd of the game, 5th of the season, gives the Redbirds a 4-3 lead. But with just 1:45 remaining, a shorthanded opportunity was presented to Jacob Begish, and he did not miss. Begish scores his team-high 12th of the year for the Bearcats at the 1:45 mark to tie the game at 4. And then just moments later at the 1:18 mark, it was Tanner Bettis getting his 7th of the season, the assist going to Joe McCormick, and that closes out the scoring. The final 5-4 in favor of the McKendree Bearcats. Shots on goal again in the 3rd period. Illinois State 11, McKendree had 13, the 3-period totals. Redbirds 47 and the Bearcats 36. So that's going to do it for us here tonight from the Bloomington Ice Center at the Joe Olson Ice Rink. And again, we want to thank everyone here at the facility for all their hospitality, the great seats, and of course, all the stuff that they do behind the scenes to get things ready for us here for Illinois State Redbird hockey. And of course, a big thanks to you for tuning in and listening. We certainly hope you enjoyed the broadcast. Illinois State Redbird fans, we still hope you enjoyed the broadcast. McKendree Bearcat fans, you're going to enjoy the drive back. Or if you're at home, you're enjoying the broadcast, we thank you for coming in and joining us tonight. We know you enjoyed the results. Again, your final score in the opening game of the home and home series this weekend between McKendree and Illinois State. It was the McKendree Bearcats coming out on top by the final score of 5-4 over our Redbirds. For everyone here at the Joe Olson Ice Rink and the Bloomington Ice Center, I'm L.A. Decker, thanking you for joining us. Good night, everybody.